Yuki Kawamura is no stranger to breaking barriers, but there's much more to his story than the headlines. While the world knows him as the 5'8" guard who stunned the basketball world, few know the moments that truly shaped his path. But what exactly drove this unlikely prospect to fight the odds and ultimately play in the NBA? Let's take a look at facts you didn't know about Yuki Kawamura. Yuki Kawamura didn't always have basketball on his mind. It was his older brother who first introduced him to the sport, a passionate player who saw potential in Yuki even when he didn't. Growing up in Japan, where baseball is king, basketball often took a back seat. The sport was seen as secondary, overshadowed by the cultural and institutional dominance of baseball. For young Yuki, finding his place within this landscape was no easy feat. At first, basketball wasn't even his first choice. It was more about fitting in, following his brother's lead, and trying to carve out an identity in a sport that wasn't as celebrated in Japan. But something about the fast pace of basketball, its strategic depth and individual expression eventually ignited his passion. As he honed his skills, Yuki discovered a love for the game that went beyond just playing. It became a vehicle for self-expression, a way to prove he could defy expectations. The real challenge, however, wasn't just adapting to a new sport. It was overcoming the cultural stereotype that basketball wasn't for someone like him. In a society where physical prowess was prized and athletes were expected to fit a certain mold, Yuki was often dismissed for being too small to make an impact. He wasn't the tallest, and at first glance, he didn't seem to have the build of a typical basketball player. But Yuki's determination to break that mold would be one of the defining features of his journey. While being short was often the first critique Yuki faced, it wasn't just his height that he had to overcome, it was his overall physical limitations. Unlike many of his peers, Yuki wasn't naturally gifted with the strength or speed that seemed to come effortlessly to other players. He was regularly out-muscled on the court, pushed around by players who towered over him and dominated with brute force. But Yuki was never one to back down. Rather than succumbing to frustration, he used these obstacles as fuel. The mental and physical toll of constantly proving himself was immense. In high school, he faced countless moments of self-doubt, often questioning if he could ever match up to players who were faster, stronger, or taller. Yet, he didn't let this deter him. Instead, he focused on what he could control, his mind and his work ethic. Yuki turned his perceived weaknesses into strengths. He spent countless hours in the gym, not just to build his body, but to fine-tune his agility and endurance. His relentless training regime wasn't about matching his peers in terms of raw power. It was about using intelligence, speed, and precision to outmaneuver them. Where his opponents relied on strength, Yuki relied on technique and cunning, learning to read the game with an advanced understanding of timing, space, and decision-making. This mental sharpness became one of his greatest assets. Behind every great athlete, there's usually someone who believes in them before they believe in themselves. For Yuki Kawamura, several mentors played pivotal roles in shaping not only his basketball skills, but also his mindset. One of the most significant figures in his development was Yuki Togashi, a seasoned point guard and a symbol of determination for Japanese basketball fans. Togashi's story mirrored Yuki's in many ways. Undersized, yet unstoppable on the court, their relationship wasn't just about basketball techniques. Togashi instilled in Yuki the mental toughness required to thrive in a sport where physical size often dominates the narrative. Togashi became a mentor who pushed Yuki to think beyond just being fast or being small. He taught him how to outsmart opponents with superior decision-making, quickness, and confidence. While many dismissed Yuki's potential because of his size, Togashi always saw the spark in him. This mentorship fueled Yuki's belief that intelligence and grit could overcome physical disadvantages. Togashi's influence wasn't just technical, it was emotional. He showed Yuki that in the world of basketball, belief in your abilities was just as important as any skill set. But Yuki's journey wasn't shaped by just one mentor. Alongside Togashi, several older players also took Yuki under their wing, offering guidance at key moments when doubt crept in. These veterans believed in his potential even when others did not, providing invaluable encouragement when the weight of competing against stronger, more experienced players seemed overwhelming. Their support became crucial as Yuki navigated the pressure of proving himself, not just on the court, but also in a society that often undervalued players like him. In Japan, basketball often plays second fiddle to baseball, a sport deeply entrenched in the country's culture. From youth leagues to professional teams, the national sports culture has long been shaped by baseball's popularity. But for Yuki, this cultural dynamic became fuel for his determination. Growing up in a world where basketball was often considered an afterthought, Yuki was driven to change the perception that size was the only thing that mattered in basketball. Japan's basketball culture may have been overshadowed, but it was exactly this backdrop that propelled Yuki forward. He wasn't just playing for himself, he was playing for a generation of athletes who felt overlooked, who were told they couldn't compete with the bigger, stronger players. Yuki made it his mission to prove that speed,
Kawamura, he's hit a three and hit a second.
skill, and heart could triumph over size. His rise to the NBA wasn't just about breaking barriers for himself, it was about creating a path for others who didn't fit the traditional mold of a professional basketball player. The sense of national pride also played a significant role in Yuki's journey. As he ascended through the ranks of Japanese basketball, he realized that his success wasn't just his own. Every victory and every milestone was a victory for Japan's basketball community. For him, wearing the national jersey wasn't just about representing himself, it was about setting an example for young players across the country who might feel that the dream of playing professionally was out of reach. His rise symbolized a shift in how Japan viewed basketball, showing that with enough dedication and innovation, players could thrive no matter their size. Yuki Kawamura's success didn't come overnight, nor did it happen solely because of his natural talent. The relentless training habits that have shaped his career are a crucial part of his journey, ones that the public often doesn't see. Yuki's work ethic is legendary among those who know him best, but it's not just about spending hours in the gym. His commitment to improving his weaknesses, whether it's refining his shooting mechanics, conditioning, or strengthening his defense, has been a cornerstone of his development. He approaches each drill with the same intensity and focus that you see during a game, constantly pushing his limits to overcome any physical shortcomings. But what truly sets Yuki apart is his approach to mental conditioning. Off the court, Yuki is known for his quiet demeanor. He's reserved, humble, and thoughtful. However, in the heat of battle, he becomes a different person, a fierce competitor. This transformation is not by accident. Yuki uses visualization techniques, mentally rehearsing his plays and reactions before stepping onto the court. He practices mindfulness to remain calm under pressure, a skill that's invaluable when the stakes are high. Whether he's sinking a game-winning shot or facilitating a fast break, Yuki's ability to stay composed in the toughest moments stems from his mental preparation just as much as his physical. What many fans don't see is the immense pressure Yuki faces every time he steps onto the court. As a member of the Japanese national team, he carries the weight of his country's basketball hopes on his shoulders. Being an underdog on the global stage has its advantages, but it also comes with its own set of challenges. The world may underestimate him due to his size, but the expectations are high for him to succeed despite those perceived limitations. The mental toll of representing an entire nation while constantly proving himself is something only a few truly understand. Even with the Memphis Grizzlies, Yuki had to prove that his success in international play could translate to the NBA. As a rookie, he faced the challenge of stepping into a league where perfection is expected and every mistake is scrutinized. His ability to adapt to the NBA environment, where every game is a high-pressure situation, speaks to his strength. From his first preseason game to the intense practices with the Grizzlies, Yuki's mental fortitude allowed him to thrive in those pressure cooker moments. It wasn't just about basketball skills, it was about maintaining confidence in the face of doubt, handling the spotlight, and trusting in his ability to overcome any challenge. Yuki Kawamura's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. What started as a local story in Fukuoka, Japan, has evolved into an international narrative that has captivated the basketball world. His rise to dominance began with standout performances in the FIBA World Cup and the 2024 Paris Olympics, where Yuki not only showcased his skills, but also put Japan on the global basketball map. No longer just a local hero, he became a beacon for the entire nation, representing what could be achieved through perseverance and dedication. Yuki's success has had a profound impact on Japan's basketball culture. For decades, the sport struggled to gain widespread attention, overshadowed by other more dominant sports like baseball. But with Yuki's rise, basketball is now experiencing a renaissance in Japan. His visibility on the world stage has brought much-needed recognition to Japanese basketball, showing that talent and determination can come from any corner of the globe. He has not only helped elevate the reputation of Japan's national team, but also inspired a new generation of players who now see the NBA and international success as attainable goals. As more young athletes turn to basketball, Yuki's influence on Japan's basketball culture grows. The sport is now on the rise in schools, community leagues, and even major urban areas. His success has shown aspiring players that size doesn't define success, and with the right mindset, anyone can break through barriers, just as he did. Off the court, Yuki Kawamura's influence extends far beyond basketball. Recognizing the importance of giving back, he has become deeply involved in charitable initiatives aimed at helping underserved youth in Japan. Through his efforts, Yuki is helping shape the future of the sport in his home country by providing opportunities for young athletes who may not have the resources to pursue their dreams. His involvement in youth development programs and sports initiatives has made a tangible difference in the lives of many children, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds. Yuki's commitment to charity doesn't just revolve around sports. He's also passionate about supporting needy communities, using his platform to shine a light on social issues and inspire positive change. His charity work often includes basketball camps and outreach programs where he mentors young players, offering not only basketball training but also guidance on discipline, teamwork, and perseverance. Coaches and mentors who have worked with Yuki often speak of his humility and genuine desire to help others, a quality that sets him apart from many athletes. In interviews, it's clear that Yuki sees his platform as an opportunity to do more than just play basketball. His role as a mentor, philanthropist, and role model for the next generation is just as important to him as his athletic achievements. As he continues to build his career, he remains deeply committed to giving back and ensuring that future athletes, especially those from underrepresented communities, have the same opportunities that he did. Even as Yuki Kawamura rises to stardom, the criticism never stops. One of the most frequent attacks against him is his size. At just 5 feet 8 inches, he's often dismissed as too small for the NBA, especially when compared to towering opponents. Despite his success, these comments still sting. It's hard for anyone to avoid self-doubt when the very thing you've worked your whole life to overcome remains the subject of constant scrutiny. What the public often doesn't see is the mental toll it takes to constantly prove yourself. While many athletes might buckle under such pressure, Yuki has turned this criticism into motivation. Rather than engage in public disputes or attempt to argue with his critics, Yuki chooses to silence the critics with his performances. Whether it's a clutch assist, a key basket, or a lockdown defensive play, Yuki shows through action that his size does not define his skill. He channels the negativity into growth, and each success becomes a testament to his resolve and ability to rise above. Transitioning from a star in Japan to a rookie in the NBA was always going to be a challenge. But for Yuki, it was never just about proving he could play against the world's best. His move to the Memphis Grizzlies was just as much about fitting into the team's culture and system. The Grizzlies, led by superstars like Ja Morant, are known for their tough, gritty playing style, where teamwork and unselfish play are valued above all else. Yuki had to quickly adjust to this environment, one where he was no longer the focal point, but rather part of a larger puzzle. Despite this challenge, Yuki's work ethic and team-first mentality helped him earn the respect of his teammates.
It's way past the parquet.
Wow.
Whether through consistent, selfless play or by simply contributing wherever needed, Yuki proved that he could thrive in an environment that emphasized collaboration over individual stardom. The pressure was even greater for Yuki, being one of the few Japanese players in the NBA. As a representative of his country, he felt the weight of expectations from fans back home. This added layer of pressure didn't deter him though. It fueled him to prove that Japan could produce NBA caliber talent. The struggles, the adjustments, and the constant pressure only made his success sweeter. Yuki's journey was never just about basketball. It was about showing the world that talent can come from anywhere, no matter the size or background. While Yuki Kawamura's focus remains on making a name for himself in the NBA, his ambitions stretch far beyond the basketball court. He views his journey not just as a career, but as a mission to elevate Japanese basketball on a global scale. Yuki has always been passionate about the future of the sport in Japan, and one of his key goals is to return home and help shape the next generation of players. He hopes to become a mentor for young athletes, offering the guidance he didn't always have growing up in a country where basketball was overshadowed by other sports. For Yuki, it's not just about achieving individual success. It's about giving back to the community that supported him throughout his journey. He wants to show young players in Japan that their dreams are possible regardless of size or circumstances. His story has already inspired countless aspiring athletes, and he is determined to continue being a beacon of hope for those who follow in his footsteps. Through camps, coaching, and public outreach, Yuki aims to be a bridge between Japan's basketball culture and the international stage, ensuring that his legacy will live on far beyond his playing years. As much as Yuki dreams of winning championships and earning individual accolades, his true motivation lies in securing a legacy that transcends the game itself. He wants to be remembered not just as a player, but as a trailblazer, someone who helped open doors for Asian athletes in the global basketball community. Yuki's journey has already made waves, and his potential to influence the future of basketball in Japan is undeniable. His drive isn't just about personal glory, it's about making sure that his success paves the way for others. In preparation for life after basketball, Yuki is focused on laying the groundwork for his post-playing career, whether through entrepreneurship, community outreach, or his continued involvement in the basketball world. He's determined to leave an impact long after he's retired. As one of the few Japanese players in the NBA, he's aware of the responsibility he carries, and he's ready to embrace it fully. Yuki Kawamura's story is far from just about basketball. It's a tale of overcoming limitations, challenging stereotypes, and defying expectations at every turn. The world knows him as the undersized guard who took the NBA by storm, but behind his success lies an even more powerful narrative, a story of resilience, determination, and the relentless drive to be more than just a player. As his journey continues to unfold, one thing is certain: Yuki Kawamura is just getting started, and the best is yet to come. But let us know your thoughts on this up-and-coming NBA star, and if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to watch our next video shown on screen.